Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Talkin Kop for this Sunday night. It's me, Gav, it's Keith, it's Emmet, it's Seany. Liverpool are top of the Premier League division as of now, after a 2-1 win away at Wolves. We're going to look back at the game. We're going to look back at some players. We're definitely going to talk about Manchester United towards the end because it's fucking comical. And Seany showed me a stat before we come on here, and when he reads it out, make sure you're sitting down when he reads it out. That's all I'm going to say to you. We're going to get straight into it though. Like I do at the start of every week, we're going to go to the end and then go back towards the beginning. Keith, I'm going to come to you first. It's another 3 points for the Reds. They probably made it a little bit more difficult than they should have, but we can learn a lot from it and we can get better, and we're winning. You can argue a little bit, but not too much.
Yeah, look, 3 points. That's all you can ask for. I mean, I think as Liverpool fans, we sometimes, feel like we're not entitled to win scuttery ones like that. Do you know what I mean? We have to go out and slaughter the team, or it invalidates the fact that we win. But the reality is, we went there. You take a result in isolation, right? And Wolves are bottom of the league, Liverpool are chasing top of the league, and they go there and you think they've made hard work of it. And Wolves had their chances. But if you play a game at 5:30 on a Saturday night, the home crowd are a little bit more up for it because they've had a few more hours in the pub drinking. Do you know what I mean? And I know that might sound a bit flippant, but it makes a difference. Little things like that. So Liverpool are a big team coming to town. They're one of the top three teams. I think everybody agrees with that, whether you place them as 1, 2, or 3. We have our own opinions on that. But, they're one of the top teams in the league. But they're also possibly seen as a scalp for teams because Jurgen Klopp is gone and Arne Slot is in, and maybe they feel they can get, something out of Liverpool. So I think crowds and teams can be a little bit up for it. I think Wolves played well. They're not a bad team. I don't think they're the worst team in the league, but their position shows that they are. But Liverpool went there and came away with 3 points, and I think that's the most important thing. And like I said, I think we beat ourselves up too much about some of these. I've seen Man City go to low-ranking teams in the league and come out. I've seen Arsenal yesterday going to a team and scuttering out with a home result at the dying embers, and nobody talks about that, but Liverpool somehow are seeing a scrap into a win. So look, 3 points, I couldn't care how we get the 3 points. The year we won the league, we were getting scrappy wins all over the place, and I would take that for the whole year. So happy days, we get the win, we're out of there, we're on to the next.
Yeah, well, I can't really argue with any of that. Seany, the big thing to come out of it, before we get into players and incidents and stuff like that, the big thing for me to come out of it yesterday was, we can 100% get better. And that, I think that's fair to say. But the other thing was, first 15, 20 minutes, it's a kind of an open game, and we'll get to that in a bit. But overall in the game, if Liverpool just tidy up a little bit of what they're doing here, Wolves don't get a fucking sniff yesterday. Like, that's realistically what happens. Liverpool tidy up a little bit. I don't think Wolves get anywhere fucking near Liverpool yesterday. It's down to ourselves and where we can improve, not teams playing through us and going, fuck, we look bleeding rocky as fuck. It's just us tidying up what we need to do.
Yeah, look, barring a brain fart from Konate in the second half, I don't think Dave Anton real clear cut. I Konate to make a block towards the end of the game, but I think that's been like, I was looking into it yesterday. I seen like over the 8 games, we conceded the least amounts of big chances in the league. We're right up there in Europe with some of the more defensive sides. I think us and Juventus are actually the top 2 in Europe at the moment. Juventus haven't conceded a goal in the league. We've only conceded 2 goals. But like, I just think it is a little bit different. I never felt like we were out of control that game yesterday, even though we were poor, I'd say, in the first 20. But I think once we got a foothold in the game, we only looked like the only one time that side that we're going to win it. And there were similarities in it for me with the Brentford game, whereas the last 20 minutes, like, Wolves looked absolutely zapped. They had nothing. They were bollocks. They were at the putting absolutely everything into that 70 minutes to just stay in the game. Whereas now they get one and they take that chance from a Konate brain fart, which I'm sure we'll probably go into in detail. And that can happen in a game, you know what I mean? I think it's probably just a lack of communication between himself and Allison at one way or the other. But look, just like Keith was saying, you don't care how the 3 points come. And we're already into the territory now where there's, well, I think we're playing 7 games in 21 days, is it? Something like that. Like, I hate saying it because I think performances are normally the marker of where you are as a team, but we're already into the territory where, like, it's not about performances now. It's just about getting as many points on the board while you're in this fucking mad period. We've another international break coming up in a couple of weeks, which, look, we could all do without. But I think looking at Liverpool's start of the season as a whole, taking out the Nottingham Forest game, which was just, we were just shy. You can just put it down to that.
Yeah,
it's been a really, really, really impressive start to Arne Slot's tenure at Liverpool. You can see exactly what we're trying to do. I think the control aspect of games is probably deserted us a little bit in times where I think, like you said, that's where we get better. But like, show me a manager in the world who walked into a club the size of Liverpool after 7 or 8 games and had absolutely everything going his own way. It's not possible, but the signs for me are very, very positive. And you look at the points on the board. You don't want to get too enamoured with the league position at the moment, but at the same time, you can only kind of beat what's in front of you. I think there is, and we're saying it every week, the sterner tests to come down the line, but all you can do is fucking beat what's in front of you. And I'll echo again what Keith said. I know Wolves are like rooted at the moment to the bottom of the league, but I genuinely don't see them being in any trouble in the later stage of the season. They're a good side with some really good players, and some of their players really impressed me yesterday. And we just got in and out. And Molyneux is a bit of it's not one I've ever enjoyed really. Liverpool Wolves, because they're a load of bleeding mackerel munchers out there. That's a fucking mad saying, that Wolverhampton. It's the arm.
No disrespect to any Wolves people in the
any Wolves people in the chat can ask me how. Anyway, I'll never meet you in my life. But let's be honest. It's a fucking it's the armpit of England. If I'm being honest, like, you know what I mean. And it's just
Jesus Christ, what have they done on you?
What? Just don't like Wolverhampton. I just hate that stupid accent, to be honest with you.
Right.
And there's loads of United fans from there as well, to be honest. So if you're from Wolverhampton and you're offended by what I said, then my job is done. But anyway, 3 points and out the gap.
Okay, no problem. Emmet, you know, both the lads there are saying that, you know, overall, Liverpool, they deserve to win the game, Liverpool. I think that's fair. And we can improve and tidying up and different things. But when you walked away from me yesterday, I mean, you know, it's 3 points, we're all delighted. But you weren't walking away from me yesterday going, Jesus, we looked terrible there. We looked terrible there. They were getting down this side constantly. You know, this fella, it wasn't like we were letting in loads of chances or we looked so open. Because if you go back a couple of seasons when Liverpool's legs fell off, we just looked so open, regardless where the team got the ball on the pitch. But we seemed really quite solid in what we were doing. It was just a case of decision making probably from ourselves and a little bit of composure throughout the game. And we probably see that out. I think we see it out probably 2 or 3-0. But again, we know we've bigger tests to come, Emma. They're going to come thick and fast, particularly after the next international break. But Liverpool can 100% improve. We're going to face better teams, more attacking teams, more of a threat. But Liverpool can you know, if Liverpool can match the sternness of the test with the improvement that they can bring week on week, there's nothing really to worry about here.
No, and I'd be more concerned if we were absolutely setting the world on fire in the games prior to it. We haven't looked amazing. In flashes maybe, but there's never been a game that we've looked unbelievable for the whole game. So I would prefer to be in this position now where we all know that we can improve. And like, we're not the only ones that watched that match. The players have probably already watched that match back today. They'll know where they need to improve. I think it's exactly what you said. It was composure and decision making. And I was sitting there today thinking to myself, we made 9 changes midweek and I know going back to this whole Klopp thing, but footballers in general are rhythm based, and there was 9 players that didn't play since last week. Do we need to make that many changes? I know we should in terms of rotating and giving lads rests.
You
but
can't
do
win
we
though.
need to make so many wholesale changes.
But if you make 4 during the week, and we go out and make that performance yesterday, you'll get people going, shouldn't have played Wednesday night or Tuesday, whatever night it was.
Damned
Right?
if you do, and
then if someone gets injured, what are you playing him for? So you can't actually win. Plus, it is a rhythm thing, but you have to give those 9 players that come in some sort of rhythm as well, because they're going to be needed at some stage. Do you know what I'm saying?
Just to me, it looked like a stereotypical match after an international break. We just looked a little bit off it. I wouldn't say. Look, Wolves have had an absolute horrible start to the season, and I'm not just talking in results. The matches that they've played. I think Kev read it out yesterday on the post match. They've had a disgusting run of games. We've probably had what people would class as being a fairly handy. Like, I mean, we've not played anybody that's currently in the top 10 yet. But that's where we can improve, and we need to improve. But yesterday, I just think there was a few too many loose passes. I never thought that they were going to beat us. So what you said is right. I don't think we were ever going to lose the game, but we could have won it a little bit more comfortably. But I don't know. Look, we've a few gears to go up. Yeah, we're going to have to start going through them quick, because there are a couple of big games coming up.
Well, we do have a few gears to go up, but I think anybody assessing Liverpool yesterday are not going to go, this is how we look how Wolves got at them here. Look what Wolves done to them there. They're not going to. They're going to look and go, what Wolves kind of got out of it. And don't get me wrong, Wolves tried really hard. You know what I mean? Really, really hard. First 20, they tried to make it open. Fair play to them. But then once Liverpool got a hold of the game, Wolves were feeding off scraps a little bit, and the scraps were being provided by us. It wasn't a case of when they got the ball, they were quite good with it. You know, the sort of way. And like, again, if I'm a manager of Crystal Palace or a manager of Bologna, I don't think I can sit there and go, there's the pinpoint, there it is, look, there's the point where you're hurting them, because it doesn't feel like that. Even the whole thing, like Slot says afterwards, and people are asking in the chat there, is he a bit too open in his interviews regarding tactics? I don't think he is, and I don't think he cares. You know what I mean? He's not telling you something that some sort of, tactical person at any other football club will see. Oh, do you like to press through Salah? So they overloaded on that side to stop the press, the sort of way. But honestly, teams looking at us are probably looking going, we need them to make mistakes here, because they look very fucking solid off the ball. They're still quite dangerous on it. But honestly, if I'm fucking Bologna or Crystal Palace, I'm saying to myself, if these fuckers are up this 5% with the movement or the crispness of the passing, we're in fucking real trouble here. Real trouble. And that's my biggest thing to come out of the game yesterday. It was like, yeah, we win it, get out. We weren't great. But the things that are there are not hard to fix. They're not that hard to fix. Going into some players, I'm going to go straight at it, Keith. Ibrahim Konate. Plays really well. Plays really well in the game. Bar, I think about 10 minutes where the issue with the goal happens. I think he gets booked soon after. And it's like, oh my God, is this fella's head falling off? But Jen gets back into it and he's absolutely fine. He gets a good goal. How big was it for him yesterday, Keith? That look, he gets the goal. I think someone said yesterday on the post-match show, it's his first league goal for Liverpool.
His first league goal, right? Yeah. Got a few.
He's got a few in Europe and stuff. But he gets that goal. It's a crucial goal right on half-time. He's playing really well. I don't think he's great in the run-up to the goal anyway, where the way things are played. And then he just, brain fart is probably the perfect word for it, and he just stops. And they score from it. He gets booked. But he settles back down. But how big of it was that? And I think you'd probably seen after the game, but it was really big for him that he comes over where they've won the game, and it's not like, fuck, I'm the fella, it's all on me here now because we've dropped points. Really big from Keith.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Konate is, and look, I don't know the lad personally, we're not mates, but I'm a huge fan of his work. But you hear a lot about his influence in the team, in the dressing room, and that he is a leader, and he is leadership qualities, and he's not, I don't think he's part of the leadership group, but he's sort of touching up around that area of his place in the squad. And you saw him making a mistake, you know, and you know, Alisson could have come out and jumped on it, but when Alisson wasn't, Ebu just seems to lose his head and doesn't deal with it. But he reacts from it, and that's what you want to see. Do you know what I mean? You want to see a reaction, especially if it's a centre-back that makes a mistake. We've seen over the years plenty of Liverpool players make a mistake in a game and just go to shite in front of your eyes, whether it be a goalkeeper, whether it be a defender, a striker, midfielder. I'll never forget Jersey Dudek when he fucking dropped 2 against Forlan and just wasn't the same after that. You know, a mistake can really derail you, but he got back on the horse and just went back at it. I think I remember when we signed Ebu and, you know, we were championing him, saying this fella has the potential to be one of the best in the world, and nothing I've seen has changed my mind about this. I think he's brilliant. I think he's absolutely elite. It's only the fitness that's the problem for Ebu. He has it all. He's got pace. He wins his headers. I think I've seen a stat about aerial duels. Like, he's absolutely dominating in the air. Doesn't lose headers, doesn't miss out when he's in the air. And he's not as bad as a passer as people make out. He doesn't do spectacular ones. He's not Van Dijk doing raking diagonals. He's not Joel Matip carrying the ball into midfield like a prime Franz Beckenbauer. But he does enough to be more than adequate with the ball. It's not a weakness, as you touched on there. Where's the weakness? Teams won't be looking at Liverpool thinking Ibu Konate is the weakness. You know, he makes a mistake yesterday. Pete, the Crystal Palace manager, isn't going to be looking at that and thinking, right, we're going to target him. You're not going to target him. You know, he's the one that put out the fires for Trent when Trent was being targeted. And even now, Trent is looking good in defensive positions as well. So Liverpool are in a position now where you touched on there, the weaknesses just don't look to be there. The depth looks to be there. Now, how long that lasts, we don't know. But for now, it looks really, really strong. And like I say, Ebu, Dan Austin says there, I loved Ebu's disappointment on not getting the man of the match. It was gas. Like, he's a funny character, and you know, it takes, no matter what level of football you're playing at, and I'm sure you've played football with fellas who just shake things off, don't give a shit, make a mistake, boom, straight back at it. And he's doing it at the elite level. Don't worry about him. I love Ebu. Scores a goal and is started the season fucking brilliantly. And long may it continue. Seany touched on it there. We don't concede chances. It's no coincidence that it's down to Ebu and Virgil playing out our skin. We can see the 2 goals all season. One yesterday was a howler, and then the other one was a goal in a game where we just weren't prepared. The players weren't prepared to go out and battle. So look, no complaints. Mistakes happen. We didn't get punished overall. We move on.
Seany, just moving on a little bit from, well, you can touch on Konate if you want, but I was really impressed with the back 4 yesterday. You know, when we were doing the preview show on Friday night, me and Kev, I was talking about Robertson. I wasn't having a go off him, but I was saying I think he's caught between a rock and a hard place a little bit in this formation as to, is he this kind of flying up and down fullback, or is he one that tucks in, or is he, you know, one that kind of sits beside the centre halves? And it felt like he's still learning it, and it was coming across at that. But when I look at the back 4 yesterday, you know, take Konate over for a minute, and that mistake he makes. But I thought Trent was really good, both defensively and on the ball. I thought Virgil was, you know, pitch perfect for me in nearly everything he does. And I thought Robertson was really good in yesterday's game, bar one where he should square it across the goal and he hits it at the keeper from a tight angle. But the back 4 looked to me like they're learning of each other and starting to learn what the, you know, where they should be when the midfield have it. I thought they were really good at back 4 yesterday.
Yeah, I think the mark of any real successful team is you can switch up your midfield and your forward players if you have the options. But I think if you want to be challenging for at the top end for major runners, I think the one thing you need consistent is a consistent back 4 that you can select. And not digging out Kwanzaa, but Konate literally, barring the goal yesterday, hasn't put a foot wrong since he's come back into the team. And then he's in beside Virgil, who, like, it doesn't really matter what age he is. He's Virgil. He's set a kind of new standard. I think he's the flag bearer for centre backs moving forward. I don't care what anyone says. He's the best I've ever seen. He changed the game in my opinion. You see the way all these lads look up to him. Keith said Konate's potential to be one of the best centre-backs in Europe. I think he already is. I think you only have to look at what Deschamps is doing, who he plays in ahead against. I think Deschamps actually prefers Konate over Saliba, which speaks volumes. Trent is like a man possessed in terms of defensively, and it's mad that he gets booked early. Now, I'm gonna gloss on that. He gets booked for kicking the ball away like a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
which is just stupid in the current climate.
That was a stupid thing to do.
Like what we've seen happen.
Yeah,
he gets booked. But
it's the hot topic right now. Don't go near
it. To be honest with you, like I didn't feel like he was ever in danger of being sent off. Yet they were targeting Trent with your man Bellegarde, and he was getting nothing out. He was forcing him out wide, and he had to clip. I don't know how many times your man Bellegarde clipped the cross, and it literally bounced on the other side of the 18-yard box and out for the throw in. And that's because Trent has been really he's brushed up big time defensively, and he spoke about it during the week. I don't know whether you've seen the interview where he said I'm in constant dialogue with Arne Slot, and I told him that I want to be one of the best defenders in the world, going both ways. I want to be the type of defender where wingers don't want to come up and play against me, and we're seeing that side of his game. He looks stronger physically. He looks like he's at the bulking out a little bit. We don't need to talk about how good he is on the ball. You have your man in the goal who's, again, similar to Virgil, as good as that, and I've seen him, definitely in a Liverpool shirt anyway. And that's the foundations your house will be built on if you're going to go and win trophies. And for me, that's the brilliant thing. Well, one thing I will say, I don't want to be. I'm trying to be overtly positive here in terms of. I agree. I thought Robertson was brilliant yesterday. His ball for Szoboszlai is fucking as good as you'll see. But I can see parts of Robbo's game where I'm like, 2 or 3 years ago, he's not in that position. He's able to get around a little bit quicker. You can see he is flagging a little bit, and I do think that it's left back is a potential problem area for us if Robertson is missing, because I think Tsimikas is cap hit. If I'm being deadly honest, and I don't think we have we've requisite fill there. I think there's a massive drop off between Robertson and Tsimikas. So I'm praying to God Robertson stays fit, because again, like he's been fucking immaculate since he's come in. But again,
horrible foul on him yesterday, wasn't it? It was a blatant bad one that nibbed him at the end.
Yeah, but the one at the end, I think it might be a little bit unfortunate. I think the guy is turning. He's turning to go somewhere, and he just happens to catch him. Do you know what I mean? But look, it's one of those where he goes down. Apparently Robertson's absolutely fine. There's no issue there with regards to there's no issue with regards to an injury according to Arne Slot. I think you have to give credit to your back four, because overall I think outside the first 20 minutes where Wolves huff and puff a little bit, I think there might be one shot Alisson gets down to early enough in the game, and then bar the goal, I think there's one near the end where someone comes inside Trent and Konate blocks. But other than that, Alisson has a lot to do, and you have to give credit there. In midfield, though, we're continuing to rave about Gravenberch, and rightfully so. But I let you have first shot on midfield, but I thought McAllister was brilliant yesterday.
Yeah, I thought it was between Konate and Gravenberch for man of the match. Neville gave it to Gravenberch, but it's probably one of his quieter games so far. But yeah, he was still man of the match. Szoboszlai probably the worst of the three. I think he's still probably trying to learn where he wants him to play. But
if he scores that goal, then we're talking much differently.
Huh?
If that chance goes in, we're just going great. Szoboszlai, he's there.
Maybe it knocked him a little bit. Maybe that knocked him a little bit, but I think McAllister was just doing his little floaty thing around the place and just kept the ball moving, and like he was popping up on the left, popping up over on the right. I just think the three of them together, like they are obviously our first choice midfielders. The three of them together now are kind of forming a good bond in there. Like we said before, that they kind of nearly tend to rotate their positions as well. Each one of them can kind of nearly all do that position.
Yeah.
But Gravenberch's still probably the standout for me so far this season. Like I said, probably not his best game of his better games this season, but still man of the match for me. Yeah, I like McAllister's game. Like he just goes about his business, not too flash or anything like that. Just
I think he stood out when it was that little period where it was like, this is a bit mad, in the second half, and then it was just like every time he got it, he used it sensibly. Like him and Gravenberch both win 8 duels yesterday. Gravenberch 7 on the ground, 1 in the air. He wins 8 out of 8, and McAllister the same. And McAllister didn't have an influence over the game as much in the first half, but he was winning ball. He was being neat and tidy. But I thought he really stood up. Really stood up in the second half, and kept it running. But just sticking with you, Emmet, like this Gravenberch stuff is getting ridiculous, isn't it? Like to the point where Andy Robertson is like, will you give it a fucking rest here? This fella is just constantly getting man of the matches. But it's just he just does something in every game where you go, fucking hell. Do you know what I mean? Like he just,
it's a drop of the shoulder as to taking the ball on the turn. It's just,
there was one in the second half.
He makes it look so effortless.
It runs across him. It looks like the Wolves are going to press him. He's just inside the Wolves. How you think Wolves are going to go at him here? And he doesn't do anything but let the ball run across him and take a touch. And next thing, the whole Wolves midfield are going, bollocks, he's gone. And then he has a great run in the second half where he kind of gets a caught under his feet near the end of it. But he's just grown into every game.
Into the box.
And even his not most influential games, he's still coming out and going, he's fucking brilliant. Yeah. He's not having to do anything amazing. He's just doing what he's meant to do, isn't he?
But like it's there's talk of this position being like, it's a specialist role. It's one of the hardest midfielder roles to play, and he's literally just come in and said, "Here, I'll do it." Now he thanks Slav for putting him into the team, and I think I spoke last week about him not having the best of times at Bayern Munich, then coming into us and not having a pre-season. It's really probably it's his first, and then he gets injured in the League Cup final, and it's his first kind of proper run, and he just seems to be grabbing the bull by the horns and making the position his own. The only downside is he's going to have to get a break at some stage. I know he got a break midweek, but you've got Champions League now, League, Champions League, League, Champions League. At what point, and do we have somebody that can kind of do that role instead of him? He's probably becoming, I don't want to say anybody's undroppable, but he's nearly one of your first names on the team sheet at this stage. Maybe behind the likes of Alisson, Van Dijk, Trent. So, yeah. But just on Trent as well. So I think what's massively helped Trent this season is the more kind of measured build-up that Slot likes to play. Whereas when we were playing under Klopp, we were all heavy metal football, bombing forward, and when the ball turned over, Trent could have been caught upfield, and then there's that space in behind him. The fact that we're more measured in our build-up means that he's less likely to get caught, and he's getting back like the speed of him. Like yesterday, to get back. I know he didn't make the block. Konate makes the block, but he's like Seany said, he's like a man possessed, and arguably one of the better right backs in the league so far this season. I would say defensively.
I said it last week.
Fuck Will Walker.
I said it last week.
Every other Englishman.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if you're going to compare, I don't think Trent is being compared as a fullback in the same way everybody else is compared as a fullback. If you went and looked at the stats the amount of times he's dribbled past or loses the ball or whatever, I think it'll match up to most fullbacks in the league. But for some reason, he has to be 10, 15% better than every fullback in the league defensively, because you're doing all this up here, so you should be held in a higher, bracket back there. It's very fucking weird the way it carries on.
No, well, he's getting his flowers.
And I was just about to say, now. You said this last week, because the first mention of him leaving Liverpool or going to Real Madrid, and all of a sudden it's like, how good is Trent Alexander-Arnold? Whereas for the last fucking 18 months, it's all been about how come Trent Alexander-Arnold can't play for England, and he can't do this and he can't do that, and you've people, pundits, who banged on about it, and now all of a sudden they're like, it's criminal if he's not in the England team and stuff. all because it's a chink of light. Like Seany did say to me last week, it's a chink of light of maybe leaving Liverpool, and all of a sudden now he's the fucking best thing since sliced bread. And that's not me knocking Trent. I'm just saying this is the sort of narratives you get and the campaigns you have to deal with as, I suppose, Trent or as Liverpool or as a supporter of Liverpool. Keith, up front, Salah gets a penalty. Diaz is quiet enough. In fairness, I think they do very well to kind of show him off as much as they can. They're quite worried about him, and I think he starts a bit too wide at times. But that may be just the way the game's going. I thought Jota was really good, Keith. I thought he walked his bollocks off. He gets the assist for Konate's goal. He drops deep when he needs to and slows the game down, and he links quite well. He was definitely the best of the front three. Because again, I think Salah's decision making at times was a bit mad. But I think Jota played really well.
Yeah, look, Jota is a player that we've said on here. I've said, I'll put my hand up, I'd say he doesn't influence games. He scores great goals at great times, but does he do enough in games? I think yesterday we saw a busy Jota, and it was great. And the thing I like at the moment, I think Bertie put it in the chat, or someone put it in the chat earlier about the Diaz Gakpo thing. I think Núñez done well. I know he wasn't available yesterday, but Núñez done well. But Jota reacts. You know what I mean? Diaz is doing well. Gakpo plays well. Diaz will react. The players are all... They're trying to establish themselves in the team, and we're seeing a front five, and now with Chiesa thrown in there, a front six of players that look like they can all come in and want to force the manager's hand to give them more game time. Now, we know Salah's maybe slightly different in the sense that he doesn't, and we don't want them. Well, you have to manage him more. You don't want them breaking down, but he doesn't get rested as much as the others. But we're getting into a situation where players know they can come in there and we're not seeing a drop off. I thought Jota was very good yesterday. He was a nuisance to the Wolves back four or wherever they played. I think like I said, he was busy. He was good. He was involved in a few little things. I like the little needly side to Jota, the little niggly side, and there was loads of that in the game yesterday. I thought little sneaky little battles here and there that he was trying to get in their heads, and he wins the penalty. Don't think there could be much argument.
No.
It was clear as day.
The defender's stupid.
Yeah, but that's because he knows it's Semedo, isn't it? That's all over him. Semedo that wraps him up. He knows Jota is so good in the air. He's just saying, "I'm not letting this fucker jump." You know what I mean? So it's nearly a psychological thing as well. That he's nearly in the heads of some of these other, like obviously a Portuguese international teammate. But yeah, I thought Jota was very good yesterday. I thought that's what we want to see. And going forward, what I want to see is if Núñez comes in, he puts in these types of performances, and then Jota reacts. So we have good options there, and we've got a saying. I know Seany has said many a time, iron sharpens iron, and we've got these lads here that are just going to battle, and we don't have that stagnant, I'll put in a bleeding 6 out of 10 here because I know I'm going to be playing the next week. There's lads chomping at the bit, and that's what we want to see. Jota done well. He was poor. Was it last week or one of the games he was poor? Say he's poor when he's poor. Say he's good when he's good. And this week he was good. And that's what we want. And we can't ask for much more than that. It comes down to the squad depth that we have and the strength all over the pitch, whether we talk about defenders where we probably are the lightest, but midfield, strikers, we've got players there, going back to the midfield, Gravenberch, McAllister and Szoboszlai. And Szoboszlai comes in for a bit of stick because he's playing in a number 10, but he's not playing as a number 10. He's playing as just a runner in this team, and he's putting in the graft and he's putting in the bleeding yards. Do you know what I mean? It's not like he's not contributing. He is the bleeding lungs of that team, and I'm so impressed with that side of the game. It's like Gini Wijnaldum. Do you know what I mean? Get in there and you be the bleeding.
I'm glad you said that, Keith. I'm glad you said that.
And and it's up to Curtis Jones then, if he's the next taxi off the rank. Right, if you're coming in for Szoboszlai, you do the fucking running. Because if he's coming out, you're running. The same if Núñez goes in for Jota, do the work. Gakpo comes in for Diaz, do the work. And if we have that from players, we'll be all right this season.
Szoboszlai, he does get a mixed. It's kind of not split down the middle, but I can see a lot of people have a lot of time for him and can see the ability. I mean, he's a brilliant footballer. There's no doubt about it. I just
People
think
are obsessed. People are obsessed with goals and assists.
Yeah,
That's-
no, and I think the fact that he's most a lot of the time he's the furthest forward of those three. People are looking for him to assist and score and stuff like that. And look, I'm not gonna fucking turn away from it. I think at times his decision making is a little bit poor. I think his timing of a pass can be a little bit poor, but everyone can be like that. But you can't, Seany, like, you can't knock him for his work rate. He never fucking stops. He's up and down, up and down. You'll see him on the right helping. You'll see him on the left. He'll be trying to get up with Jota. He's actually the man that goes right up forward at times to press as well. And Jota kind of goes one side. There's no lack of energy or effort in him. But if he just adds, like, Seany, honestly, if he adds a goal or assist every other game or every 2 or 3 games, you're kind of going, fuck me, the work he's getting done, plus he's adding this. It's just
that would come along.
It's not, I don't think it's that. Yeah, no, it will come. I just don't think we're asking for too much in that. And it's like he has got the opportunities. I think sometimes he just needs to calm down a little bit. I think he gets a little bit fucking right. What am I going to do? I think if he just takes an extra second, I think the space he finds himself in, you can nearly allow himself an extra second because he gets into really good positions at times.
He got a goal. He got a goal against bleeding Milan.
That doesn't matter, Seany. That was fucking 10 days ago. Sure, that's years ago.
What are you doing for me lately?
People are
I'm only messing with you.
Yeah.
obsessed about this goals and assisting. They haven't a fucking breeze what his role is in the team. They think he's playing as an attacking midfield. He's not. It's a midfield three where they're all getting through work, and he's doing a lot of running for the two boys who are
Huge
playing
amounts.
behind him. Let
Huge
me
amounts,
fucking
yeah.
tell you. And you can look at the stats and back that up. And I imagine he's covered more ground than Gravenberch and McAllister in every game he's played with them. So I think people just need to kind of kill the beans a little bit. It's not a case where we're not getting enough goals from midfield or enough goal contributions from midfield. They're doing their job. The front six that we have are all linking up fine and putting the fucking ball in the net. And that's what football is about at the highest level and in a structure like that we have under Arne Slot. Everyone has a job and everyone's doing their job. That's the important thing. Don't get caught up with all the numbers, this, that, and the other goals and assists. Sometimes just trust the eye test. Yeah, he can be a little bit sloppy in possession, but that's because he's on the ball more times than probably anyone else in there. I think 90% of the players yesterday could have taken better care of the ball, especially in the first 20 minutes. That can happen. I just think he's low-hanging fruit a bit, I think, at the moment. I actually thought Jones was excellent when he came on. I thought Jones was
Holding
really
the ball,
good
was
when
brilliant.
he came on.
Yep.
Yeah, he was brilliant. And you need to realise that nearly everyone in this team has a different role. A lot of them have different skill sets to the fella that they're trying to replace. And that's what makes the situation we have with the forward players in particular so unique. Like, there is players there. It's not like a loss, because I spoke about Robertson and Tsimikas because I don't like it. If Szoboszlai is injured and Elliott is fit, I know what Elliott brings to this team. If Szoboszlai is injured and Jones is in there, I know what Jones brings to the team. If we're missing McAllister or Gravenberch, look, I know he's not exactly what we need, but you know exactly what Endo can bring to the team. I want to see more of Tyler Morton. We have options there in terms of a variety of players and skill sets, but I think Szoboszlai is probably the only one in the team who can do that all-action role and do it perfectly. Because we see like Gravenberch is grand where he is, but I think people are massively downplaying how important he is to the team, and they're writing him off. Now, I'm not saying writing him off, but they're getting on them back, and I think it's a little bit hypercritical because he's not putting numbers on the board in terms of goals and assists. And if he adds that, fucking brilliant. Like the one yesterday, he should score the one yesterday. People saying it's a good save, Sam Johnson. He should score. It's 3 yards out. Fucking find the corner. I don't hit it straight at him. That can happen. But I just think people are being overcritical of Szoboszlai, and it kind of annoys me a little bit because they're not actually recognising the sacrifice he's making for the team and the running that he's doing. So, like, I think just like it's not all like fucking. It's not all like FIFA where you've the best players doing the best thing every game. Sometimes it's just kind of go under the radar. I'm not worried about Szoboszlai whatsoever. The thing that hampered him last year was you can clearly see it got to a stage where he was just playing too much football and he wasn't used to the intensity or the workload that
Absolutely.
English football entails, and his legs kind of went from underneath him, I think, and he kind of struggled to get them back. But I think he's a fucking brilliant player. I'm delighted we have him, and he's fucking gorgeous as well. I'm just going to caveat everything I'd say with that. Yeah.
I think he's probably gone up to number one now after Alisson absolutely made a hames of himself during the week with the shaving. Like he's just like, don't know what he's doing. But no, look,
back to the purple kit yesterday, though.
Yeah, well,
that was the highlight of the first half. Alisson's kit.
But no, look, I think, look, when it comes down to Szoboszlai, like Slot has said, he'd like to see him get more goals and assists. But I don't think Slot is saying, look, he's not doing fucking anything in this team. He's only there for goals and assists. I think what Slot is saying is, like, Slot keeps playing him. Like, even if he doesn't score against Milan last week, Slot is still playing him because he is doing that running. The workload he's putting in, the covering he's doing for people, and it is a bit. Gino and Adam's an interesting kind of comparison because of the work he's putting in and just the sacrifice he's making for the team at times. I think Slot's whole point on this is that we are managing him to getting him into good positions as well as that, and he just needs to make better decisions at times, and that goes for every player. Like, I think Salah's decision making this season overall has been poor. But Salah scored plenty of goals. He's I don't know, plenty is probably the wrong word, but he's got a few goals, Salah. He's got a couple of assists. But there is times where you go, fucking hell, like the one yesterday where he break out and he tries to hit Curtis Jones with this thing. I'm like, take another touch, put yourself right in on goal and then make the decision. Just little things like that. But even the best can make the wrong decisions. I just think with Szoboszlai, what he's doing with the team is absolutely fine. I think what Slot is looking for is we are still getting you into these positions. We're not looking at you as a workhorse. We're getting you in there. You just need to pick the right things, and that'll come because they're all learning where they're all moving and where they're going and what they're trying to do. This is a massive learning curve, and part of that is he might be doing that. We might be losing the ball very easily sometimes, and we're giving teams scraps. And that was, I think, was a huge example of that yesterday in that game. Going through it though, look. Overall, we've played 6, we've won 5, we've lost that one against Forest, but we're top of the table. And in 2 or 3 games' time, we're a quarter of the way through the season, and things will really, really take shape. But Emma, we're looking into this next international break. We've a midweek game, then we've Palace, and then we're away. We're away for 2 weeks, I think. We have to manage these players. Like, we've heard Rodri talking about it. Rodri's now out with the season with an ACL. You see these players, and like we're talking about Gravenberch and how well he's been. He's going to go off and play 2 games for Holland. Do you know what I mean?
He should have retired from international football after blading Ronald Koeman's behaviour last year.
Yeah, exactly. But Emma, we do have to manage them. Do you know what I mean? I know you were saying earlier rhythm and stuff like that, but like there's so many fucking games, Emma. Like, should Liverpool as a club, I know I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but should Liverpool as a club be leaning on a fucking couple of players here, or leaning on some FAs going, listen, we're letting him go, but he's played this, and this. They're 2 fucking meaningless fucking games, really. You know what I mean? We let him play 90, but we're only doing 45 for the second one, or whatever it might be. Liverpool need to lean on people here, I think, because other clubs are.
100%.
Yeah, it probably depends on what relationship they have with each one of the FAs belonging to the different countries, because I think once they go, they make the decision. I know the clubs pay their bills, but I'm not sure if there's many gentlemen's agreements. Like, do you know what I mean? Like Holland, obviously, I'd imagine they're doing well. It's the Nations League. Like, it's nearly as bad as this new fucking FIFA Club World Cup thing. Like, everybody all mad that we're not in it. I'm fucking delighted we're not in it. But yeah, definitely we need to, as much as we can, try and influence how they're protected or how they train, play while they're away with their international teams. Maybe the fact that the lad that was Slot's coach, he left the Dutch national side, didn't he?
Okay.
I can't remember his name.
Yeah.
He
He left the
did,
job, did he? Right. Well, I thought, Jesus, that might. But look, there might be connections there that might say something along the lines of what you're saying there. Like, he wasn't playing him at all until he started playing in there for Liverpool. Now he's nearly undroppable for Holland as well. But yeah, definitely need to manage minutes. I think it might be too risky to do it against Palace away at 12:30 on a Saturday. Whatever happened to that rule that you don't play at 10:30 on a Saturday if you play in Europe midweek?
Yeah, you
Away.
have to pay away in Europe.
It's an away game
Was
in
it
Europe.
away?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. I always thought it was just any game in Europe.
No.
Yeah.
The
But
rule
you
is
look
if you...
at City got screwed last week, played Sunday and then Tuesday. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's fucking... They don't give a bollocks about players' welfare. At the end of the day, money.
But
PP.
isn't it just, it's just so kind of like Rodri was the one that was the most outspoken about it, and then he goes and does his ACL. That should tell you everything that you need to know.
yeah, but it's all coming out now in the wash now that was the same knee that he hurt in the final of the Euros, so he shouldn't even been playing.
Was it?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, but again, players are being rushed back for different things. It is. I don't even know what fucking games are coming to this international break. Are they friendlies? Are they
neither
fucking
do I.
qualifiers? Are they this fucking
But they're like glorified friendlies, though.
the league thing? Is it?
think
Is it the same? Is it that?
I think the workload is coming to a head now. That yeah, it's the start of the revolt. You're starting to see the talk of players saying this, that, and the other. I think maybe this summer is when you'll see FIFA Pro maybe interfering then, and I'd say there'd be a big collaborative effort between a lot of the top players in the world to just say, look, listen, we're not fucking doing this anymore. Because I hate some of the arguments I'm seeing on by the gammons on the likes of TalkSport and all that, or their wages are going up and the amount of games they're reflecting as playing in contracts. It doesn't, no matter how much money you pay someone, yeah, they can get the best nutritionist that has to offer, the best physio services. The human body is only capable of so much, and to be dripping 50, 60, 70 games out of fucking professional footballers every season, it's not sustainable. And what's going to happen is you're going to get to April or May, and just players are going to be jaded, and the quality of football is going to be absolutely shite. And then it's going to get to a stage where you're going to get lads like fucking 27, 28 going, I'm not going to play in these fucking international tournaments. They don't mean anything. Like, the Nations League is a load of bollocks.
Yeah.
But the Nations League is only there to seed you for World Cup or Euro qualifiers. That's all it is.
It's a load of wank. What was wrong with the way
But that's all it is.
The way it was working?
But look, we're here in
They were able to
2024. Right?
monetize it this time.
But we're here in 2024, right? So 2024, 2025 will be used in a way to seed them for fucking qualifiers. That'll then go for the 2026 World Cup or whatever the fuck it is. That's all it's being used for. So what they've done is instead of them saying, listen, we're not seeding you, we're just going to fucking put this into groups. What we're going to do now is we're going to make out this is a competition, and then we're going to just go in, and you all fucking find out what leagues are in, and that'll help you for the World Cup. And it doesn't matter, because the same fucking teams that go to the World Cup will go to the World Cup. You know what I mean? But it is. I'd like to see Liverpool lean on a few people, because I've looked at how City with the likes of Stones, and now Stones goes with England. You know what I mean? Stones, Foden, Walker. You know what I mean? You're kind of going, what the fuck's going on here? Where are all them? Do you know what I mean? And then there's other players that you kind of say, why aren't they in fucking squads? And they're not in squads. And Liverpool seem to just send everyone away. And if you want to play like, I couldn't get my head around Andy Robertson playing 290 minutes for Scotland in the last international break. I could not believe this was happening. This is a guy that was injured after the Euros, barely made a pre-season, plays a couple of games for Liverpool, and goes and plays 2 more for Scotland. And you're like, what the fuck is going on? But
they lost Kieran Tierney as well, so they
I don't give a fuck who they lost.
Loaded onto Robertson.
But I don't give a fuck.
They care. They give a fuck.
They care.
You know what I mean? Like,
I know they care, but Liverpool should be leaning on Robertson or leaning on Scotland, going, hold on, this fella's only back. We're playing him in games to try to get him up to speed. You can't lash him into another 2 in quick succession. Do you know what I mean?
But that's what I mean about, like, so Scotland are a team that need all of their best players to be in with a chance of making, like, the Nations League or getting further in the Nations League to go up to the league so they get a higher seed. The likes of a Holland or something that are probably blessed with players can chop and change. You might be able to lean on them, but the likes of like if we had Bradley in our team or Trent was out injured, Northern Ireland are going to play Bradley every single game that they possibly can. These teams need to play all these better players.
Hungry at
lads,
playing Sabozlo as well.
it's all about fucking. It's all about the Benjamins. Like, you look at English teams in Europe the last 10 years in the back end of Europe. They've struggled. They have struggled. I know fucking West Ham dug out a Conference League and this Chelsea or City, but look at how well Spanish teams do. Look what Spanish players are doing over Christmas. Look what they're doing. They're all fucking feet up. All different parts of the world, their feet up. Can't do that with the Premier League. Why? Because fucking Sky pay a rake of cash to make sure that from the first week of December that there's a match on every single day until fucking the second week of January, whether that's Premier League, Championship. Throw on top of that now that there's going to be games in January in the Champions League as well now. And there's going to be jeopardy in them because of the way the system that they have fucking set up. So it's a lot of bollocks. And we're all football fans here, and I'd watch any football if it's on the telly. But you have to kind of say to yourself, all right, here, what fucking enough's enough. Like, there's talk now, California has a knee injury. Like,
well, this is what I'm getting at. Do you know what I mean?
Like, it's gonna pile up, and then they're gonna be going. Advertisers are gonna go, oh, well, this is a bit shite, and it's not really competitive anymore. Why? Because they're fucking flogged to death.
Yeah.
Football is absolute. Kobe Mainoo today. Everyone knows I hate Manchester United fucking more than probably anyone on the planet. Young fella going down houndless hamstring. Like, what is he, 18 or 19 years of age? Like, that young fella is gonna be fucking ran into the ground. You never see the best of him. You won't see him reaching the level he should reach because he's being fucking flogged to death. Flogged to death as a kid. Like, it's fucking stupid.
And not letting him grow at all, aren't he? Not, they're literally putting too much pressure on him.
And if he's in any way fit in the next 2 weeks, like, Carsley's gonna call him up to England.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking stupid. It's ridiculous. This Harvey Elliott, like, looked like to me that he's probably on to have his breakout season for Liverpool based on his pre-season. Yeah, he doesn't start a few league games, but you're thinking now, this is the time, 3 games a week, you can just throw him in there and he'll be fucking great. Goes away on international duty, has an issue with his foot, plays with the foot, plays on it, and then ends up with a fucking stress fracture in his foot. It's fucking ridiculous. It has to stop. It's absolutely, like, it's just. And don't be the type of fucker who sits on your armchair going, oh, they're millionaires and they don't know what hard work is. They're at physical capacity. It's not fucking possible to do anything. Like, it's ridiculous.
Vincent Demise says Koeman will imitate slot with Gravenberch as usual. Yeah, look, I can't see Gravenberch not starting for Holland unless I don't know who they're playing. You know, usually you might get a little bit of a break if a team have a half decent side and then they're playing like a fucking San Marino or a Faroe Islands or someone along them lines.
No, but it's this Nations League, is it?
Yeah,
Holland are in with Germany and someone else, isn't he?
Yeah, so
Holland, they're playing Hungary and Germany.
Yeah, well, there you
go.
go.
On the 11th and 14th of October.
Well, there you go. So you'll see Gravenberch playing both of those games. You'll see Virgil van Dijk playing both of those games.
You'll see Szoboszlai playing
against Szoboszlai, who plays every game for Hungary. Yeah. And I'm not knocking it. You know, like we get, you look at Jota, and Jota gets a bit here and a bit there for Portugal, and that suits us. Do you know what I mean? Nunes is banned from the work for the moment, so you won't see him for a bit. But Diaz might go off, I think, and play 2 more.
The South Americans are a big worry, aren't they? Because of the way South America as a continent is, you know what I mean? You can be playing in Bolivia, you can be playing in Peru or something. You saw McAllister last season, he's on a fucking oxygen tank, and then he's playing a 12:30 kick-off a few days later. Really hard to manage. And like that, players want to play for their country. You know, Luis Diaz will be Colombian long after he's a Liverpool player. You know, Dominic Szoboszlai will be Hungarian long after he's a Liverpool player. And I hate international, fucking hate it. But the players will want to play, and that's the problem. You have to convince the players that it's in their best interest as well, and they will go out and want to play, especially captains. You know, Szoboszlai is a Hungarian captain. He's going to want to play. It's a hard one to bleed, and it's a hard one to do. But it's flogging players into the ground, and Seany hit the nail on the head. You've got all these fucking goons that'll tell you that they should be able to do it. You go out and do it, because the intensity that these are training and playing at every few days, and you just have to listen to the players that are saying it. Son is running amok about it the other day. You know what I mean? You never hear Son saying anything, and he's fucking running amok about them being flogged. Kevin De Bruyne had done it. Rodri was doing it. All these players. Jurgen Klopp was laughed at, ridiculed for saying that players had to play too much. And now they're all starting. I'm not saying Klopp is the lead pioneer to this, by the way, but everybody says it, and then it's only when it goes too far and everyone's getting injured that they'll even talk about it. But nothing will be done. These Nations League games are brought in to replace friendlies. You'd rather the friendlies because you can pull them out of that. You're only playing bleeding old man in a friendly. You don't have to go to that. Instead of you're playing Germany in a friendly. Do you know what I mean? It's all it is.
But they might be making millions every year, but they have the exact same bones and muscles and tendons and ligaments as the four of us here.
Yeah.
You don't all of a sudden
Well,
become a footballer.
I hope they more ligaments to me because I fucking none.
Shawnee's going to ring them and
But
ask
they don't just get rich and then all of a sudden get transplants and get gold and metal plate fucking ligaments and whatever. Like, do you know what I mean? They're only fucking human.
Yeah. And listen, I've no problem with players wanting to play and stuff like that, but when the big thing with Arne Slot has been, you know, injury prevention and stuff like that, and it's something he's looked at before he came into Liverpool because of the injuries the squad had, and maybe that was the way we trained or the way we played or whatever it might be. I'm just hoping that I'd love to see one of them going, listen, I'm not going. And I'm going to be that fucking that, you know, greedy. I'm going to say, and I'm going to be that selfish. And one of them just turned around and go, I'm feeling a bit there. I'm going to have to leave this one. And then he plays against whoever when we come back. I just like to see how happy got to him.
On international
I can't remember it, but I'm always interested to look up the likes of City and Arsenal in particular and say who's gone away and who's not. Do you know what I mean? And there's always one or two where I go, that's interesting.
Arsenal is guilty, like Saka, fucking hell. Like the workload, the minutes in his legs for his age is scandalous. That, you know, gonna be cropped.
Yeah, well, we'll have to wait and see. Anyway, before we go, the weekend of football that was, Newcastle got a draw against Man City. Quite an entertaining game. Arsenal do get that late win against Leicester. But again, such a fucking emotional fucking game. I was going to say Highbury at whatever that Emirates, and it was a bit like fucking hell. Like they win it, and I was actually watching it, thinking these will score in the last couple of minutes. But it was all too emotional. And then I watched United against Spurs today, and my God, honest to Jesus, it was. I want to give a shout out to Brentford. I want to give a shout out to Brentford, who are someone says the first time in Premier League history. I think this might be in the history of football to score in the fourth minute in 3 consecutive league games. Away at Man City, away at Spurs, and at home was a West Ham they were playing at the weekend. Mbuemo gets all 3 of them, I think. And it's like, what is going on? They just scored in the fourth minute. Haven't won a single one of the games, but they scored in the fourth minute for 3 consecutive league games. And I don't think anyone's ever done that. If they have, let me know. But I want to give them a shout. But watching that at Old Trafford today, I was looking forward to the game. I thought it'd be a good game. And 2 minutes in, the Spurs centre half just runs up the pitch on his own. No one fucking goes near him. There's a fella tapping in the back post. Like, Keith, you're watching this, and people are kind of going, you know, like Neville is saying 3 weeks ago, he gets properly backed and stuff like that. And Neville's changed his tune, I think, massively today.
Oh, yeah.
But you're watching it, Keith, and you're like, this is way deeper than a manager thing. It's way deeper than that. Has to be. It's just all over the fucking camp, isn't it?
Look, yeah, it is. And, you know, you can talk to fellas in the pub. Now, I was out the other night at a family party and I had a relative
you to be out, Keith.
I know, yeah. Well, would you believe I didn't drink at this one? I drove, so I was sober. But some of the family are Manchester United fans, and I got into conversation, and I was sort of saying, you know, this can't just be down to, you know, one thing at Man United. And he was trying to tell me, right, it's the Glazers, right? Now, I'm sick of hearing about the fucking Glazers, because when the other fella came in, they were all saying the Glazers are done and dusted. It's now the Jim Radcliffe era. He was trying to say to me that, you know, Ten Hag has not had the backing, right? That little chestnut comes out, and I'm like, okay, right. Onan is the best keeper in the league, and we'll see that when Ten Hag has his full first choice defence. And I'm like, okay. I was looking for the hidden camera because I think
These are
Konate is
clearly
the worst
drinking.
goalkeeper
None of
in the
these
fucking
fellas
world.
drove.
Yeah, these didn't drive. I'm looking for Jeremy Beadle to pop out with a blade
And
and
his
little
little hands.
camera because I'm like, Onana is not the best keeper in fucking Manchester United, never mind in the league. And he's saying, you know, and I'm looking and I'm saying, but you traded back four that are there now are Ajax players. Onana's an ex-Ajax player. You know, how many more players can this fella have? But it's a culture now. Were they ever actually good, Manchester United? Like, under Alex Ferguson, yeah, they were. Matt Busby was there for about 40 years as well, and he won the European Cup. But they were absolute shite when I was a child. They went 26 years without winning the league. And Sean, you might remember, he's younger, but the three of us will remember when we were kids. And they were absolutely septic. They were the biggest spenders every year because they're the biggest club and all this shit. They were absolute dirt, turgid team, rocking up with players like Neil Webb, Arthur Albiston, fucking Peter Davenport, all these household names, Remy Moses, fucking roll off the tongue, right? Shy bags, all of them. Alex Ferguson comes in, he
All
gets
from
rid
one
of
word.
half of them. They do well, and then he goes. What are they 12 years since they've won the league now, is it? They're as
12
far
years this year.
away. They're as far away as we ever were when we were shit as well. Like, we went through
Worse.
that dance when we didn't win it, but they are fucking light years away. And they just spend the money on that change. And I know they've been unfortunate with Lenny Yoro gets an injury, but then they went and spent late 50 odd million
Yeah,
on
but Lenny
the prize
Yoro
of the
isn't
league.
Lenny Yoro isn't curing what's going on here.
No, but they'll tell you, yeah.
Ashley asked
We
the
bought
question.
Xerxes.
Well, Ashley asked the
Fucking
question.
Xerxes, Lenny Yoro, fucking Xerxes. They may as well have signed Lenny Henry. Fucking fella.
Yeah.
Ashley says,
Exactly.
red card or not? Thoughts?
No
Keith, I'll stay with
way.
you. Red card or not?
No,
Yeah, because he's a fucking
No.
idiot. Red every day of the week.
I don't think it is a
No.
red.
I'd be fuming now if that was
he does lift his leg on purpose, but it is
Yeah.
initially a slip. I think
Yeah.
it's yellow.
Yeah. I think he was a bit hard done by with the red, and I don't fucking like him at all.
Yeah, listen, it's a poor excuse to hide behind for any young man.
Yeah, no, I don't think
I'm not
they're getting
joking.
any out of the
That's
game
not game
anyway.
either way.
I've watched shite Liverpool teams, and I've watched an equal amount in the last 10, 13 years shite Manchester United teams. Thankfully, because I wish I was alive when they were shite, because in my fucking childhood, the country around it.
Haunted us.
But that's as bad as I've seen them. They don't. Under Van Gaal, you could see, all right, fucking, it's sideways, this, that, and the other. Mourinho, whatever, Solskjaer counter-attacking. It looks like 11 strangers trying to play together at the moment, and there's no desire. And an alarming thing for me was during the week, just after the game, and nobody picked up on it. Christian Eriksen going, they just wanted him more. Fucking FC20 at home.
Yeah.
Are you winding me up, John? Are you winding me up? They're relying on a fella who died and came back to life and still has more legs than fucking Casemiro. They're at the point your man Ugarte, and I swear to God, he's like a United Churches League footballer. He's just running around, running into fellas, can't pass water. He's fucking dirt. Like, and who's scouting these players?
Well, you see, my thing is,
me and Gav Tad, we chat to know that, like, your man Xerxes is a good player, all right, but what you doing here, right? You bought Hoyland last year for 70 million, right? Now, United fans love doing the thing where it's only 54 with add-ons and whatever, yeah. All right, whatever you paid for him. You buy Xerxes and you buy Hoyland. They're two players. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. I could be fucking talking out of my hole, but they're two players you buy to develop, all right?
Yeah.
We all agree on that?
yeah,
100%.
You can't play the two of them in the same team together.
no.
Because they don't work together. And you don't play a front two anyway. You don't play two up top anyway. You need to develop both of them. You can only develop both of them by giving each one of them game time, and neither of them work in the same system. So what the fuck are you doing? What are you going to do?
See,
Are you going to play this fella 1 week and we're developing for this? It's like we never ever signed anyone to back up Bobby Firmino because there was only ever really one. We bring in Minamino, and he's a similar type of player. And then you have Jota, who gave us something different. But if you could play Jota and Firmino on the same team, you could play Jota off the left. You can't play these two fellas together. So what are they doing?
You see, my team with them,
Ugarte, they need someone to put that foot on the ball in the middle and run around with Mainu. And they signed a fella who can't pass fucking water. Like,
yeah,
he was at PSG for 6 weeks and wasn't seen again. Like,
but you
who's
see,
selling the
that's
players?
but you see, this is the
I don't
profile.
get it.
This is the profile, right? And I was really thinking about it today. I was watching the match because when it was gone to 10 men and 2-3-0, it was kind of boring. And I was thinking about it and I was saying to myself, like, I think you have a manager there that has tried to revert to type to save himself. You know, Onana. I'm not too sure if Mazraoui was at Ajax. He might have been.
Yes, he was. Yeah, he
right.
was.
De Ligt, right?
Yeah.
You've got Martinez, right?
Butcher.
Right. And then
fucking Pat Butcher.
But you're going through this team, right? And you're seeing a fella that's reverting to type, right? And he's signing players. I like Hoyland. I think he's a good player, but he is one to develop. I think Xerxes being neat and tidy, but he doesn't look like an all-out centre forward for me. You're looking at Jamal Ahmed, who he refuses to play, but he keeps playing Rashford. That when Rashford turns off, he sends a signal to the whole of the rest of the team that this isn't happening today. Right, and it's not like he's the pillar of the fucking professionalism for them and he's their main man. It's just like, this cunt's giving up, why should I fucking keep going? And it is like a switch like that with Rashford. He gets
he's
the
a
ball,
Manchester lad and a fan, like.
but Keith, he's so fucking entrenched. He's so entrenched in the shite that's been there for so long that when Rashford just goes, I'll kick it back here, everyone else goes, what the fuck, like, you know what I mean? But when you look at the profile of signings, he signs Ugarte, who's not getting a game at Paris Saint-Germain. He signs De Ligt, that's not getting a game at Bayern Munich, right? He signs Onana because he thinks he's being fucking clever, and he's not. He's not a good goalkeeper. I don't care what anyone fucking says. Who else does he sign? He signs
Anthony over Kudus.
Yeah, I know, but what I'm trying to say is the signings this summer: Ugarte,
Euro,
De
Ligt, Mazraoui.
Mazraoui's the other one. Mazraoui. Not wanted by Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich he got him from, didn't he? Right?
Yeah.
So when you look at the profile of players he's signing, he's not signing players that you would look to develop or just get as they're about to break through. It's not a development signing. It's players that are literally rotting at other clubs. Right? And turning up and going, I can go to Manchester United. Yeah, fucking great. They'll pay me loads of money and I'll go out there and play. And if I'm not that good, sure, makes no fucking difference to me. I was no good at Bayern Munich. I was no fucking good at Paris Saint-Germain. So what's the fucking difference? These players don't want to prove themselves. They don't want to prove themselves. Your man De Ligt is running around like he's fucking a dog with two Mickeys at times. He's trying to get up centre forward. They're down to 10 men today. And De Ligt is running into the box. Right? Not worried about the break. Not worried about anything. He's running into the fucking box. Your man Ugarte is playing today and he plays one pass, you could have go, that's a decent pass. The rest of it, he's running around, no one fucking knows what's going on. Nobody knows what he's fucking doing. And people are saying change the manager. By all means, change the manager. But honest to God, change him if you want. But this is way deeper than a manager. This is a group of players that they've brought together that's a fucking SOS from a manager. All my old mates to save me. And what happens when he goes? These lads that like fucking Ten Hag and played from Ajax and he came from these clubs, and then next of all, they just beached up at fucking Old Trafford and mightn't be wanted. What they need is, in my opinion, they need an absolute realistic the reset of settings here. And what I mean is, Manchester United come out and go, we're not good enough. It's going to take this amount of time to change it. We don't even know if we'll challenge for the Champions League. And that's the way it is. But they won't do it. Throw money on shite. That's what they're doing.
You're saying that, but the fella who walked in the door told everyone the truth and what needed to happen, got ostracised and built
Ralph Rangnick.
Because he came in. And he's the only one who's walked in there and he just said, yeah, this is a lot of wank and this is going to take a lot of work to do. And
look at the players that he wanted to sign. He wanted to sign Caicedo. He wanted to sign McAllister. Like, all of these players, like, all right, Caicedo probably has improved. Didn't have a great season last season. But, like, United had a group of players. They were in this position 2 seasons ago. and they wanted to get rid of players. They wanted to get rid of Sancho. They wanted to get rid of like all these players that like, oh, they're rotten, get rid of them. And they've just brought in more players that have come in for the money. And it's like you said, Gav, regardless of the way they win, lose, or draw, their bank balance is full at the end of every week. There's no like desire there. Like I know I've said it before, Liverpool do it right. You get your basic and then you've got win bonuses. These boys at United get their 350 grand or their whatever amount of money they're being paid up front every week. Win, lose, or draw.
And
There
they tell
doesn't
you
seem to
it's
be
not bad.
a desire there.
They tell you it's not that bad because he's won a couple of trophies. Look at the runs. And I'm honestly, they were fucking a toenail away and getting pipped by Coventry last year in extra time after being 3-0 up. You understand how ridiculous that sounds? The Talkin Kop run, and he's living off them. And look, it's fucking plain to see. They looked for a manager in the summer but couldn't find anyone. And I hope the Jesus will wake up tomorrow and fucking Gareth Southgate's phone is getting blown up by them.
He's the one, isn't he?
He is the one. He is the, and I'm not joking you. I actually think, and I don't give a fuck if Southgate ends up taking over United. I think I'm not going to be a Liverpool supporter anymore. I'm just going to be a watcher of Manchester United and fucking absolute. Yeah, I literally, because it will be the funny, and I'm telling you now, Jim Ratcliffe, I'm not sure if he can get one anymore, but if he can, he has a horn on him for Southgate. I tell you that, I'd pull a donkey out of a ditch, bring order to a whole of matching tours, I'd say. He absolutely loves the idea of having him in there. And I pray to God. But being realistic, I'd say maybe this day next week, he's out the gap at the international break, because I have a feeling they'll get pumped midweek by Porto, and I have a feeling they get bashed as well by Villa next week, because they're absolutely shite.
It's just
horrible show.
If you're looking to back Ten Hag, you have to have somebody. You have to have some. I'm not saying he hasn't been backed. He has been backed. What I'm saying is, if you're looking to back him, you have to have someone around him going, listen, Eric, you're going in and you're signing another fucking prick from Ajax. The two fellas you want in Bayern Munich aren't getting a fucking game. We're Manchester United. And what are we doing? We're taking the cast-offs. We're not even taking fellas that are on the fringes here of Bayern Munich and, are being kept out of a team by, a Harry Kane or a fucking whoever. You know what I mean? They're literally rotting away here, and we're going to go out and spend big money on them, and they're going to be our saviours. It's fucking mad what they're at. It's absolutely mad what they're at. And listen, there's potential in some of them players, but I'm watching that team, and there's not a fucking no chance in hell that they make the Champions League this year. Not a fucking chance. Right? Literally, other teams will have the down tools and go on strike for them to make top four. That's how bad they are. They're so open at the back. They don't walk. They don't fucking challenge. They don't press. They don't chase people. They don't stay in shape. Going forward, they don't want the ball. They don't want the fucking ball. So they want to score goals, but they don't want the ball. They are so fucking far away. And I genuinely, if Manchester United want to be honest with themselves, they need to come out and say, listen, we're not good enough. We've made too many mistakes. We're going to go now. And listen, we're telling our supporters over the next 3 seasons, you have to stick with us because this is a project. And if we get A, B, or C in the next 3 years, it's the bonus. But we're not expecting it. We're working on this for the next 2 or 3 years. But they won't. What they'll do is they'll sack him. They'll get to January. They give another fella another fucking 100 million in January. Then they give him another 150 million in the summer, and all this will just go out in the wash again. They take off Kobe Mainoo today, right? They take off Kobe Mainoo and they put on fucking that fella that's just doesn't play football anymore. Your man
Mainoo went off injured.
I know he goes off injured, but you telling me there's no one else on that bench that can come on before Mason Mount? Nobody.
Yeah, played Casemiro.
No, but what I'm saying
Casemiro was walking around like a bag of custard.
But what I'm saying is Mason Mount, he's not even a Manchester United player. I don't think he qualifies. You know what I mean? Like even if they won the league next year and he didn't play, I don't think he has enough appearances to get a medal.
There you go. They paid 50 odd million for him in the last year of his deal, and he hardly played football last year. So they probably could have just left him and got him for nothing at the end.
It's absolutely mad what they're at. And listen, I've no sympathy for them.
The problem is now, Gav, there's no Maguire in the team to blame anymore. The scapegoats are not there. Casemiro hasn't played in recent weeks, and people have the wool pulled over their eyes and thinking, they can't really even say anything about the Glazers anymore.
No,
Because
Rashford is the one that they're going to launch at.
Oh, yeah.
And Bruno Fernandes. That's both of them. But the thing is, like, they're using Bruno Fernandes in a way where you go, that's not the way you use him. They're literally hiding him on the football pitch. Instead of going, you go in there and you play beside Kobe Mainoo. Or whatever it might be. But they won't. They keep hiding them on the pitch. But listen, leave them to it. I just thought I was fucking mad watching today. But anything else before we go, Emma?
No, let me just check the NFL scores.
I don't give a
Just in
fuck with
case
the
it's
NFL
mad.
You
scores.
did that afterwards.
Is
all
Matt in
right,
the
Scott
chat?
Hanson, relax there, will you?
What way would you
Is
do
Matt
that?
in the chat?
No, I
Because
haven't seen it.
the Vikings were playing the Green Bay Packers today.
Yeah.
All right.
They
I think they
won.
bounced at them.
The
Yeah,
Vikings won.
31-29. Nice, they came
Nice.
back.
Very good. I only watched that in January when it starts getting good.
You find out who the Super Bowl halftime entertainment is. That's when you're all in.
No, well,
You
who
like
is
them
it?
or you don't.
Unless it's if it's Crystal Swing, I'll watch. Keith,
This next year, yeah, could be. No,
Anything
nothing
else before we
exciting
go?
or interesting from me. No.
all right, good stuff. Shawnee, anything else before we go?
No, all good. But I will bring up something, boys.
What's that?
One of my favourite players, to be honest. I know we play for them, but my Jesus. Do you see the state of Wayne Rooney?
Oh, stop.
Oh,
Tell them what you said earlier.
what about Rooney?
Yeah, tell them what you said earlier.
He's aging like a batch loaf.
Yeah. Jesus Christ. He's only about 26, isn't he? The fucking state of the fella.
Isn't he younger than Milner?
Oh, yeah.
Younger than Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Yeah, honest to God, he must have done a fucking paper round in Pripyat or something in the 90s in Chernobyl or something. God help him. He's in a bleeding awful state.
Oh, stop.
We knew
Stop.
he'd end up like this, but I didn't think it'd happen so soon. Like, literally hung up his boots and then the next bleeding day, boom, looks like a 60-year-old man.
Yeah, it's
The,
mad, isn't
the
it?
camera panned onto him there today in the stand, and it was like Rabsy Nesbitt was sitting there. He had a bleeding, had a fucking covered in steak and kidney pie, sitting there
Steak, kidney
looking
pie.
down onto the pitch. Fucking Plymouth manager Wayne Rooney, and he looks like a vagrant that he whipped up. Remember when Phil Mitchell lost the plot in EastEnders and went heavy on the
Black
cargo?
addict.
Yeah. Honest to Jesus Christ.
It's like the time Ian Beale was homeless. And
Yeah.
Ashley said he's only 38. Yeah, fucking 38 in dog years probably.
Yeah,
The
Jesus
state of
Christ.
him.
38. My God.
Luka Modric is still banging around the gap for 40. Like, playing in, like, Madrid derbies and all tonight. Not a bother to him.
Yeah, but
Look at
Luka
Pepe.
Modric prob-
40 blade one or something.
Yeah, but Luka Modric didn't live off one bars for the first 25 years of his life, probably, you know what I mean?
Anyway, we're disturbing Emma here. He's looking up his NFL drafts.
No, was it
Super
not
team.
Shawnee that put up this stat about
Oh, yeah, the
you know
stat.
Oh, yeah. So in the last 15 league games, is it? Everton have 21 points and Manchester United have 19. I don't know where to go with that.
If that's the level.
I really don't know where to go with that. Anyway, we're off. We're out of here. Thanks a million to everyone for watching on this Sunday night. Thanks a million to Keith, to Emma, to Shawnee. Thanks a million to everyone in the chat. Like, subscribe, comment, become a member, all that sort of messing. We should be back tomorrow. We'll definitely be back Tuesday. 100% back Wednesday. And we'll see how the rest of the week goes. That's been it. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.